Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. On this video I am going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game tomorrow night against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. As you already know, I've already given you my preview and my starting 11 prediction. So, Solskjaer has said quite a few interesting stuff during that press conference. At the beginning of the press conference, he had spoken about Marcus Rashford, saying that he's been really, really proud of Rashford. And he said, Rashford's a good person and a fantastic human being. And he said that Rashford doesn't only care about himself, he also cares for others as well. Now, definitely Marcus Rashford is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Like I said, he was a big miss earlier on in the season, Rashford, because he was out with that back injury and he was out for quite a while. Rashford has got 21 goals in all competitions this season, but throughout the course of this season, he has been playing out wide. But he can also play as the number 9. I give you the news regarding Marcus Rashford yesterday because there were stories coming out from the mainstream media saying that PSG are interested in Rashford. And he said that Thomas Tuchel has identified him as his number one priority target. But we do value Marcus Rashford at around £100 million. I don't think we'll sell him anyway. Rashford's been with the club for several years. After that, Solskjaer had provided us with some news on Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw. I still think it remains unknown whether Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams are going to be available for the game tomorrow night. Solskjaer did say that Luke Shaw has swollen his ankle because he came off in the 2-2 draw with Southampton. And he says that Brandon Williams has got a bad cut on his eye because don't forget he collided heads with Kyle Walker-Peters. So like I said, if Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams are not available, then I think we'll have to put Diego Dalot at left back. That's, what Manchester United are going to have to do. So he mentioned that. He also mentioned Roy Hodgson during the press conference, and he said he's actually, admired Roy Hodgson. He's admired Roy Hodgson, because he's still managing at the age of 72. I think actually, Solskjaer has spoken with Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson has managed a catalogue of clubs. He's obviously, he's now managing Palace. I think this has been his third season with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's managed a few teams in England. He managed Liverpool at one point. He managed Fulham. He managed West Brom. He's obviously managed the England senior team. He also managed the England under-21s. He's also managed Underneath, Inter Milan, Blackburn, Grasshoppers. So Roy Hodgson has managed so many clubs. Also, Solskjaer has opted not to criticise Manchester City's 2-year Champions League ban getting overturned by CAS because you've had quite a few people and that, such as Jose Mourinho, criticising that. It got confirmed recently that City's 2-year Champions League ban has been overturned because obviously, back in February, City had been fined £25 million for breaking financial fair play rules, and now their fine's been reduced from £25 million to just £8 million. So now obviously that means we've got to finish in the top 4 to get qualification for the Champions League. And Solskjaer knows the importance of Champions League qualification because obviously we'll generate money if we get qualification for the Champions League. And I think it will have an impact on our transfer business. I also want to confirm that the transfer window is opening on the 27th of July. And I think it's open until October. So the good news is now we know when the transfer window is opening. Also, too, Solskjaer was talking a lot about our attack during the press conference. And he says he believes that our attacking philosophy is close to emulating the great sides of the Alex Ferguson reign. He was talking a lot about Anthony Martial during the press conference. He says that Martial's developing really, really well. And obviously, he was asked about, can Martial, get another 50 goals quicker than, the 50 goals that he's got now. Because Martial did score his 50th goal for Manchester United in the Premier League in the 2-2 draw with Southampton. Also, too, he got an assist. Martial now is on 21 goals in all competitions this season. As you all know, Martial has been playing in that number 9 role, so he has been playing central this season, but he's enjoyed a very, very good season, Martial. He has enjoyed some difficult times at the football club, and I think one of the best seasons Anthony Martial enjoyed was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. But I have, been very, very impressed with him. I think he also mentioned Mason Greenwood. He's also, been very, very delighted with him. He was talking about Mason Greenwood not too long ago, saying that it's going to be hard now for Manchester United to drop him, reflecting on his good run of performances. Solskjaer did recently say that Mason Greenwood is ready to play for England at senior level. And Mason Greenwood's on 16 goals in all competitions this season. But he's been getting a lot of starts recently, but earlier on in the season, the vast majority of Mason Greenwood's appearances were coming from that substitutes bench. I don't think he was great against Southampton, Greenwood. Like I said, Ryan Bertrand had him in his pocket. But I still think, he's the foreseeable future for Manchester United, is, Mason Greenwood. But between Greenwood, Rashford and Martial, this season, I think they've got like 57 goals between them in all competitions. So our attacking line, looks very, very good. Also, too, Solskjaer obviously has gone with the same team in the last 5 league games. That's the first time we've done that since February 1993. I probably do believe in this game against Crystal Palace tomorrow night. Solskjaer is going to make some rotation. Maybe he could make 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 changes. But he said the team is based on tomorrow night. He said it's irrelevant for Sunday's game against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. Solskjaer also mentioned De Gea during the press conference. He's been recently talking about De Gea anyway, saying that David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world and he's been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. This has been David De Gea's 9th season at Manchester United and he is approaching his 10th year at the football club. And like I said, I think David De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been here, because in the last couple of years he has, been a liability, reflecting on, the calamitous mistakes he has made. Solskjaer also mentioned that David De Gea made a fantastic save to deny Nathan Redmond in our last game. But David De Gea has received a lot of criticism, but don't forget he's won everything here at the football club domestically. He's won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances, and De Gea has now made 400 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He has become only the second goalkeeper at Manchester United to reach 400 appearances after Alex Stepney, and of course he has taken over Peter Schmeichel on appearances. But I still think, he's regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I think that David De Gea, will remain our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. But like I said, when he does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. The main explanations is because he was born in Spain. His relatives are from Spain. Began his footballing career in Spain, and don't forget back in 2015 he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to fax machine his move to Real Madrid never materialised. Solskjaer said it was disappointing, to concede in the 96th minute of stoppage time in the 2-2 draw with Southampton, but he just basically said, that's football, and Obafemi, he was the one who got the goal. Definitely Victor Lindelof was accountable for it. He was at the fault for that goal. Now we did miss out on the chance to go third. Obviously, we can't finish third now anyway, because Chelsea won yesterday against Norwich by 1-0. As it stands now, we are 4 points behind Chelsea. But I'm still very, very convinced that we can finish in that top 4. Solskjaer was also asked about the defence as well. I still think, Solskjaer's looking to recommend a centre-half in, even though we have got 7 centre-halves in the team. During the press conference as well, Solskjaer had also spoken about Crystal Palace, and he says, the structure of their team's right and that. Obviously, he was asked about, the 2-1 defeat to Palace in the reverse fixture because we did lose to them earlier on in the season at Old Trafford, and that ended a run of 22 top-flight games, without a win against us, for Crystal Palace. I think it was Patrick Van Aanholt that had scored the winner in that game. But yeah, I think, we should win this game against Crystal Palace. Like I said, Crystal Palace have been in a bad vein of form. They have lost their last 5 league games. I think they are sitting 14th in the Premier League at the moment. I think they probably are safe and, they're not going to get relegated. Crystal Palace, they've been in the Premier League for several years. Crystal Palace, by the way, have got some injuries I want to update you on. Like I said on my preview, they've got James Tompkins out. They've got Gary Cahill out. They've got Jeffrey Slupp out, and also too Christian Benteke is suspended for them because Christian Benteke got sent off in Crystal Palace's 2-0 defeat to Aston Villa recently. I also believe that he's just come back from injury for Crystal Palace as well. What's his name now? Is it Martin Kelly? He's just come back from injury for Crystal Palace. But overall, we have got a very, very good record against Crystal Palace. We beat them at Selhurst Park last season by 3-1. But we've now got 3 games remaining in the Premier League. Obviously, we've got to win all our remaining games, if we want to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. I think that game against Leicester on the final day of the season, could decide who finishes in the top 4. So if we do beat Crystal Palace tomorrow night, we will extend our unbeaten run to 19 games in all competitions. We are unbeaten in our last 18 games in all competitions at the moment. And I think we're unbeaten in our last 10 league games. And this is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Like I said, a lot of aspects of our game have really, really improved, and Solskjaer knows this. We're creating more chances. We're scoring more goals, more clinical. The combinations in the team have really, really improved. So I have, seen a lot of improvements. Like I said, I've already given you my starting 11 prediction. Possibly Greenwood could be dropped for this game. And Wan-Bissaka, some Man United fans would say drop him, but I don't think he will be dropped. I think Wan-Bissaka's enjoyed a very, very good first season for us. We got him from Crystal Palace last summer for £45 million. And we've seen the attacking side of his game recently, because I did say, didn't I, that's something he needed to work on. His defensive contribution's always been very, very good, but he looks fatigued, against Southampton. Didn't really get on the end of anything, but I don't think he will be dropped. I think he will be facing his former club. I think Solskjaer could make some changes in midfield, like I said as well. Obviously, in the last 5 games, he's obviously, been going with Pogba and Matic and that in that midfield. But he actually, could drop Matic and put McTominay and Fred there instead. Or he could actually, drop Pogba and Matic in this game against Palace. And, he could put McTominay and Fred there. I don't see that happening, though. I do believe, that Paul Pogba will start this game against Crystal Palace. Paul Pogba, wasn't so good against Southampton, was he? Like I said, he made the mistake that led to Stuart Armstrong's goal. Obviously, he was easily dispossessed by Danny Ings. And then he made another mistake as well that could have been costly. But prior to that game, since the resumption of the season, I think Paul Pogba has made a fantastic impact for Manchester United. And, the ongoing situation with him. There were stories coming out recently saying that we have been in negotiations with Pogba's agent Mino Raiola over extending his contract at the football club. Because as it stands at the moment, Pogba just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Pogba is our most expensive signing, because we did pay £89 million for Paul Pogba. And he's one of the highest paid players at the football club, because he's on just under £300,000 a week. At one point, though, it was looking very, very imminent that Paul Pogba was going to be leaving the football club. Because last summer he was relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid, and Pogba said last summer he was seeking for a new challenge and even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the club. There were stories about Pogba going back to Juventus because Paul probably did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. You know, there was talks about him going to PSG before. There was also talks about him going to Barcelona and that. So he has had a long-running transfer saga, but if we could get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the club, then that would end the uncertainty over his future. So I do think, Solskjaer is going to make some rotation in this game. But Solskjaer recently challenged us to go unbeaten for the remainder of the season. Obviously, we've still got Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe out with injury. I don't know when Phil Jones is going to be back. I think I heard that Alex Tuanzebe could be out until September. That's what I did currently hear. But we have got points to prove against Palace tomorrow. We've also got points to prove against West Ham because we lost to Palace early on in the season and we also lost to West Ham earlier on in the season by 2-0. By 2-0 and that. But we haven't lost since that 2-0 defeat to Burnley at Old Trafford back in January. So we have been in a great vein of form. But we have to win the game tomorrow. We definitely have to win that game. Now, like I said, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window. Because Solskjaer did recently say that our plans for next season, our transfer strategy and our pre-season plans are up in the air because of the uncertainty of how the season will finish. And he's unsure how much he's going to get to spend because of the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. I think we are going to spend quite a bit of money in the summer transfer window. Don't forget, before the resumption of the season, we had taken a £140 million loan to help us get the right calibre players to the football club in the summer transfer window. We are looking to make around 3 signings in the summer transfer window, aren't we? Earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he had worked out his transfer strategy and he said, he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United. And he's had negotiations with Ed Woodward. He's had a few meetings with him and he's confirmed his transfer priorities and he's told Ed Woodward the 3 positions where he wants to strengthen up. He said he wants to recommend a striker in, he wants to recommend the right winger in, and he's also looking to recommend a centre-half in because there is still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. Solskjaer did say he will avoid buying any rotten apples in the summer transfer window because he warned our players quite a few weeks ago he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. But the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the football club so far and he's been here 18 months. And Solskjaer's brought 5 good players into the football club so far. Last summer he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. So definitely, our recruitment has improved under Solskjaer. I think also too, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well because the young players have been given their chances this season. There's some young players and there's some players in general, though, that have found game time very, very difficult at the club. You've had Lingard, he's found game time hard. You've had Pereira, he's found game time hard. You've had Tahith Chong, he's found game time hard. You've had Delors, he's found game time hard. So too James Garner and all of that. Because, they're not our first choices. They're not our first choices. But when he first got appointed as Man United manager, Solskjaer said everybody would get their opportunities to express themselves, including, the young players, etc., etc. and that. I've got to credit Solskjaer as well because he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think over 20 players have left Manchester United since Solskjaer came in, And we've extended a lot of players' contracts as well since he came in, but we are still facing a dilemma regarding the contracts because we've got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, and Solskjaer's got to make a decision on these 8 players. So there you go. Obviously, we're going to get rid of players in the summer transfer window, of course. We're going to get rid of players in the summer transfer window. So we are, going to generate money that way, and it'll help us, get the money we need in the summer transfer window and all of that. But like I said earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager because Earlier on in the season, we'd endured our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. The results were really, really bad early on in the season. We lost at home to Palace. We lost away at Newcastle. We lost away at West Ham. We drew away at Southampton. We had that 2-0 home loss to Burnley in that, and it was looking like, things weren't going to work out. But with this unbeaten run and that, and the way that we've improved, and with Solskjaer being a club legend and that, and the signing of Bruno Fernandes, I think that this is what's kept Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the Manchester United job. And the good news is as well, Solskjaer has gained more managerial experience. Reflecting on the amount of time he's been with us, Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. But like I said, next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Because like I said, this has been the 7th season now. We have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and the last time we won the Premier League was back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. But Solskjaer knows next season he's going to have bigger expectations to exceed. But like I've said before, the vast majority of these players are not Solskjaer's. He's inheriting players either from the Mourinho era. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Still players here from the Van Gaal era he's inheriting. There's still Matter here from the David Moyes era. And there's still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So like I've said, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding. He's still in the process of rebuilding, this Manchester United team. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he also knows he's got the backing of the Glazers. Solskjaer recently made an exciting transfer prediction, and he says Man United are attractive for any young player. So he says any young player will come to Man United. Don't forget, 2 young players have turned down moves to Man United, and that was Erling Haaland. Like I said, it was a shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland in January, because it would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, and Jude Bellingham's obviously turned down a move to Man United. And it was also a shame, that we didn't get him on the board. But there's still other young players on our agenda. You already know the news regarding Jadon Sancho. I give you the news on him this morning. We will not make a move for Sancho if we fail to qualify for the Champions League. But if we qualify for the Champions League, then I think we've confirmed we are willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price for the player. Dortmund have said, they want around £109 million. So it all depends, whether we get Champions League qualification. And these stories are coming out from Germany, by the way, regarding Sancho. The news on Thiago from Bayern Munich. There's actually been stories coming out from Bild saying that Thiago could join Manchester United. And reportedly he's put his house up for sale because he's going to be leaving Bayern Munich by the looks of things. But like I said to you this morning, there's been quite a few journalists speaking on the Thiago transfer saga. You've had Christian Falk talking about it, you've had Fabrizio Romano talking about it and that. And recently, Thiago's brother's come out and he said that Thiago to Manchester United is on. Bayern Munich have said his move to Liverpool is ruled out, but I still think Liverpool are emerged as the favourites to sign him. Reportedly, Bayern Munich wanting the £30-odd million range for him. Liverpool are reportedly now willing to put around an £18 million bidding for Thiago. He's got a year left on his current contract with Bayern Munich. Like I said, this has been his 7th season with Bayern Munich, so he's been a long servant for them. Bayern Munich paid around €25 million for him from Barcelona back in 2013. And I think he's won 14 major honours with Bayern Munich. And he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, and he is the age of 29. So we are looking to get Thiago on the board. But we're planning to hijack Liverpool's move for him anyway. So there's actually no chance that we could get Thiago on the board. But the news on all of the transfers anyway. That. But like I said, in the last 7 years, Manchester United have been playing catch-up, because we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, there's been a lot of problems at the club for several years. Not only with the management, there's been obviously, problems with the club's board. There's been problems with Ed Woodward. There's also been problem with the Glazers and all of that. And there's also been cultural problems at the football club. So there you go. So anyway, that's your reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of the Palace game. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always. And there will be a video coming up tonight. So take care, God bless.